Hi, everyone. One of the best things about being a spiritual medium is that I get to have a relationship with my forebears, family members who have died, whom I never met. For example, my paternal grandfather, Ned. Ned was from a country town in Australia, and he died long before I ever was born. But Ned has become one of my closest family members, allies, supporters, and advisors. And because I have learned to tune into spirit and be sensitive and ask them for their advice, I have the joy of having a relationship with this grandfather who I never met. And not only that, I get to experience his wisest self, the wisest version of him. And he has, over the years, shared with me some pearls of wisdom, which are really profound. I know that he was a religious man when he was alive, but I don't know how spiritual he was. However, from the other side, from the version of him that I communicate with now, he is a deeply spiritual, compassionate, and wise man. And he shared three pieces of advice that I want to share with you because I think that everybody can benefit from these. So, the first piece of advice he shared with me is the ego hustles, but the soul never hustles. So, whilst we are challenged in our daily lives, and we, of course, go into a reaction, we want to take action to solve our situations, challenges that arise in our lives. That is all happening from the perspective of our individual personalities. You can call it your ego. It's happening from the part of us which is separated from the whole of us, from our spirit, our souls, our connection to source. And it's that part that feels like, oh, we've got to do something, I've got to solve this, and runs around and hustles. And his point is that the soul never does that. The soul comes from a place of completion, of total alignment with source. So there's never any doubt, there's never any worry from the soul's point of view. The soul knows that every problem comes with a solution, and it's just a matter of aligning with the frequency of that solution. And believe me, I know life is really, really freaking hard sometimes. It really is. And it is not easy to make that alignment in many situations that we all go through. But nonetheless, that awareness is always there from the soul's perspective. The soul knows you're going to get through it. The soul knows that every challenge is an opportunity to learn something, and that the soul's trajectory in this lifetime is complete. You will achieve what you've set out to achieve. So I just wanted to share that beautiful whole perspective from my grandfather from spirit. The ego hassles, but the soul never hassles. Hustles. The next piece of advice that he gave to me is possibly more for the ladies, but it's in terms of finding a partner in relationships. And he said, never mistake a gentleman for a weak man. So this piece of advice came at a time when I was really confused about men, the way that they acted. I really didn't understand some of the behaviors, and his advice really helped me to see below surface level. And it was a great piece of advice to assist me to look at somebody's character over the long term, look more deeply. Don't just look at the surface level of a person, of a partner, but really observe them over time and look for integrity, look for strength, look for truth, honesty, and most important of all, look for love. Because when a man has love in his heart, that will drive him to achieve incredible feats. It is love that gives maximum strength. So that's a piece of advice that particularly some of the ladies out there might benefit from. Don't mistake a gentleman for a weak man. The third piece of advice my grandfather gave to me, which I'd love to share with you today, is about money. So money represents pretty much the biggest challenge to all humans, all Homo sapiens on Earth, who are, for the most part, living in poverty. You know, the majority of the world's population of us humans are not actually able to cover the basic costs of life. And so I was thinking a lot about this and not only my own financial challenges in life, but the fact that it's such a massive condition that has been placed on our entire civilization. And his advice to me was that money has never been the currency of the people, that resourcefulness has always been the currency of the people. And by this, he means money was never there to empower us. It was there to control us. Money is restrictive by nature. The imbalances in the financial system, the massive differences between the world's elite rich and the world's majority poor are so stark that it clearly indicates that the money system itself is fundamentally flawed, or at least it has been. Not to say it can't be improved, but how have people made it in this world? Always through their own resourcefulness and ingenuity, and of course through working together to assist each other, which is a form of resourcefulness. The people you know, all of the people in your community, these are all resources which activate when we need help, when we reach out, when we share our issues and we come together to find solutions. So that's the final profound piece of wisdom I wanted to share from my grandfather, Ned, that the money system is not for the people. Resourcefulness has always been the way that people have managed to get what they need. And that gave me a lot of encouragement and inspiration to be more resourceful in my own life. So that's my sharing for today. I hope it helps you and wishing you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.